Well, we're gonna be on a Zoom meeting, but if you need me, come get me, okay?
Okay, all right.
And take that tranquilizer.
I will.
Okay, good morning. This is Bill Roth. We do not have quorum currently.
Yes.
Been closed. So we may get out real early. Even if we get Madam Chair down here, we still would not have quorum, so.
Can we go out and elect?
Let's call roll, at least we have a record, please.
Gripe,
Here.
Combs, Lewis, Surges, Tepe,
Tepe online.
Young,
Remote.
and Roth.
Roth is here. So right now we just have two, we need four, so. I don't know if we want to proceed or just,
They're not coming in, right? Vern's not coming in, Cliff's not coming in,
No,
Dave's not
On the
coming
way
in.
that we know of.
I text Lewis to see and I haven't heard. So we can start informally, but no votes.
We could excuse our assistant because we're not obviously going to be able to have a closed session to do the minutes if you.
Right.
So
Yeah,
take the
so
day off.
Caitlin,
Yeah, take the day off,
go
whatever.
someplace
Think back
warm.
for Are you also
We just
there
did
for
that.
agriculture?
You guys take the day off.
Yeah, so why don't you excuse,
Yeah, you, fine, Caitlin. Yeah. Morning,
So we're definitely
Anita.
not
We
gonna
do not have an on-site quorum. There's just Mr. Gripe and myself.
Oh, well, good.
So we're gonna proceed without any votes and stuff, just to get through everything.
Yeah.
Mr. Shepro, the recorder sent over two things asking for signature. I don't know if I'm allowed to sign for those.
I would say not.
So either.
Gotta wait
Wanna-
until Sanchez gets
For
here.
signature by the
Keep 'em or
committee
you keep
chair.
'em? Yeah, okay, I don't have to worry about losing.
Yes.
Is this the only committee? Yeah, the recorder.
Would assume so.
Okay.
There's nothing in the property.
Okay.
I mean, I get a report this.
He's been requested.
It's nice to know what I'm doing.
Okay, we did roll. We can't do remote. We can't approve minutes. Nobody's here for public comment. Thank you, Caitlin, for coming.
Ask.
Monthly report, finance. Recorder. No report. Treasurer.
Thank you
Morning,
very
Mr.
much, Mr.
Lawson.
Chairman and members of the committee. Our report was put on file about 6 to 8 days ago.
Okay, thank you. Mark, supervisor report.
My January and December reports are in the packet. I do want to get back to somebody who is here today, and County Board Member Gripe, you asked a couple of months ago, excuse me, I have a baby cold. You asked a couple of months ago how do we know how well we are doing in making sure our seniors are getting exemptions? That's interesting. How do I see if the people who aren't getting it should be getting it without spending a lot of money that you guys aren't going to give me? And so I took that challenge and I've come up with some data that is on page 60 of your packet. So this is a penetration analysis. I broke it down by township. And the first two columns are single family dwellings. That's class 11 and class 40. While you can get exemptions on other parcels, that is few and far between. These will be the ones most likely to get exemptions. So that sets down our baseline of 162,651 parcels.
Hang on a
Parcel,
second. Blair, can you put that up on the screen? Page 60? My computer's.
and you're probably going to have to rotate it. There you go. You guys didn't have to rotate it. So the GHE, that's parcel with the general homestead, total 137,921. That's just a little bit of information to show the owner occupied properties. So then the next question is the percentage of homes that have a homestead exemption. This would be owner occupied homes to begin with, is countywide 84.8%. And that varies pretty widely. It's down in the mid 70s in Aurora, and then in some of the rural townships where I think you'll have a lot of farms that are in that classification. And then our highest percentage looks like it's Blackberry at 91.82%. So the next column after that are households with the senior citizen homestead exemption. And you can see we have countywide 28.76% of our households have that exemption. The question is about how many should have that exemption. So to look at that, I broke out the population by what I called home ownership age. And I want to use whole population because obviously children, teenagers are not owning homes. But generally, we find that by the age of 30, we are looking at an ownership group rather than a rental group. So looking at that, and it's broken down by township, and this is one of the cases where the American Community Survey was very helpful. We have a population in that bracket of 317,592. Of those, the 65 plus population amounts to 26.32%. So we are a little bit higher than that at 28.76% countywide. You notice at the bottom, I said penetration more than 1% below expectation. Nobody was more than 1% below expectation. So this looks right in line with what we would expect to see given that those statistics for home ownership and age. The next thing we want to look at was the senior freeze. Now, everybody who gets a homestead, a senior homestead exemption is going to get every year an application for the senior freeze in the mail. We mail one out to every single person. So there's no chance that they aren't getting it. The question is, are they filling it out at rates we'd expect? Now, this is a little trickier because we don't break down the household income by age of the householders. So instead, I used a couple of things as a proxy. First of all, I noted that of our senior exemptions, 17.28% are getting the low income senior freeze. Then we looked at what is the median household income in each of the townships, and I ranked them. And going from low was in Aurora, to high was in Campton. And so then I would expect, if I'm using that as a proxy for senior income as well, then I would expect to see similar ranking results. And if you look, Aurora, which has the lowest median household income, has the highest percent of people getting the senior freeze, whereas Campton is the highest income, is third. So we're pretty close. We're within two there. So the ones that are highlighted in yellow are the ones that are outside of that, of 2 percentage points different, 2 ranking points difference. And those would be Big Rock, Caneville, Sugar Grove, and Virgil. Now, except for Sugar Grove, those are super small sample sizes. So we're not really surprised that we would see some variation there. Sugar Grove is a little bit different, but not terribly so, only 4 different in the ranking. This is pretty close to what I think we would expect to see countywide for this. So I'm going to infer the next question that you'd ask Board Member Gripe is, so what do you do to try to make sure everyone finds out that information? Well, one, I already said, we're going to mail out an application to everybody, and we've done that for 30 years now. Beyond that, we partner with senior services who can help in Aurora and Elgin. Each of our township assessors are trained to provide assistance. We certainly do assistance here in the office. We'll do it over the telephone. We also are looking at 2, especially this year, 2 remote sessions. We're going to try them and see how well they work. Will County has done them for years. And then when COVID hit, Will County was in a problem because people got used to that was the only way they did it. And then they couldn't gather to get it done. So what we're going to look at least 2 of those sessions that are currently in formation. Both of them are in the time frame of beyond April 15th, because we need that income finalized, but then before the June 30th deadline. So we have 2 of those set. We have a couple more ideas for where to look at that. The other thing we've done, we put on the website something to make it easy. If you have your 1040, we have a guide that says if it's on this line on 1040, put it on this line on the form. So you can see it right on there. We've done that for a number of years. In fact, a number of people found out about it. That guide that I create every year is now distributed statewide and is used in classes that teach people how to apply the senior freeze. So that's what we've been doing on this. Always the issue is trying to figure out how we can do this in a cost-effective way. I realize you have not given me an unlimited budget to do whatever I can to do this. I mean, somebody once said, if a single person's missing it, then we're not doing our job. Like, well, we can be that accurate, but only for a lot more money. So we have taken all these steps. We found that they've worked the best. A good example of some of the things we've adjusted. Years ago, we sent out the applications right on January 1st, but we found people will take the applications and then set them aside because they don't have their income yet. But and then they will misplace them and not file. But if we send them out and wait until like August 1st, then what happens is they have misplaced their tax returns. So we try to send them out right around March 15th to time that up with that. Probably the last thing is when GIS split off from SOA in 2001, we had 29 employees. Those were all people who could handle this. So we could handle a lot of workload. We're down to 14. Now that's partially been because that's what I've said. That's what we should have. So when we've got 14 people, we don't have enough people to do senior freeze all year. Senior freeze takes a lot of work and a lot of time. We are essentially doing, as you can see there, 6,853 audits, essentially. And that's the people who are approved, not the people who filed, no, you're over limit, or people who argue about, no, you don't need to include my wife's income. That doesn't count, even though the law says, yes, it does. So with all that, we want to make sure we have the bulk of our senior freeze work done by the time we start sending out notices for revised assessment and board of review season comes in. So we're moving from one task to another and people are cross-trained rather than keeping a staff twice as large the whole year and then having people with downtime. I just figure it's more efficient to do it that way. But if y'all would like to double my budget for personnel and go back to the old model, I suppose I can put the note and hire somebody, but that is not my recommendation. So Board Member Gripe, I think I answered your questions, but let's see if you have any follow-ups.
You did. Thank you very much. I'm just curious. obviously 25 just ended. About when might that be available, the data for 25?
Okay, so the real answer for that is it'll be ready on October 1st of 2026.
Okay.
Why is it so late? Because we can we can do certificates of error. Remember I talked about that? And yes, why are there so many errors? Well, most of it is an error on the taxpayer's part. And on or about May 1st, the treasurer's going to send out about 200,000 property tax bills. And we are going to get a huge number of people who look and say, oh, wow, that's a big jump from last year. Oh, I never filed my senior freeze. Can I still file? And the answer is yes. We can do that right up to October 1st, because on October 1st, the treasurer is going to make an application for judgment right around that time for the tax sale. And once that happens, a wall comes down and we can't do it. That's actually why we put right in the tax bill a note saying, hey, if you're missing an exemption, let us know by October 1st. And believe me, on October 2nd, I will get a call from somebody saying, oh yeah, I saw that, but I didn't think it meant me. Every single year.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong, for the very good explanation. Yes, Mr. Tepe.
I just wanted to comment that in addition to Mark's staff handling a lot of these senior freeze applications, the townships, at least some of them, do also. So Elgin Township in particular does a really great job in handling that. And I know they get a lot of people that come in and they help them fill it out just like Mark's staff does.
Absolutely. We put that right on the form.
I found
and they're doing
with
a very
my
good job.
with CordWorks. Oh, so there was a laptop in there with the cord.
Anita,
Ms. Lewis, can you? Thank you. Okay, next, Regional Office of Education. We have a guest speaker today.
Yeah, I'll do the guest speaking. I'm Phil Morris, Director of Operations and Tech. Actually, John and Katie are meeting with all the district superintendents right now. So
Okay.
they asked me if I could come over and just share a few things. But as usual, just kind of a couple things to review. In December, we were responsible for coordinating the Raising Student Achievement Conference. We had a little over 750 attendees. Our office handles all the registration, conference coordination, et cetera. So that went off really well. Coming up though soon is our Institute Day countywide. That's on February 27th. That will be at the Q Center. Registration's open and any of you are welcome to attend. Just contact our office and we'll make sure you get all set up.
what's the date again? I'm sorry.
February 27th. It's a Friday. Right now, there's currently over 1,100 people registered to attend sessions that day. But if you go to our website, knrwe.org, you can obviously see everything that's happening, who the keynote speakers are. Watch our social media. We've been putting out a lot of information about what's happening that day. And then the other big event coming up, mark your calendars for, is May 1st. And that is our Educator of the Year event. This year is big. It's the 50th. So we are working on making that a fairly large celebration. I don't know how much larger we can make it, but
Words.
it's the Educator of the Year Awards. Yep.
Oh, where?
They're at the Q Center. Q Center in St. Charles. They do a great job hosting us. It's hard to find a place that can hold
Right.
1,000 people. And so that's a good thing. So a couple other things that I wanted to talk about too is, I know many of you know our office is responsible for visiting all school buildings for health, life, safety every year. We complete that. Our goal is to have them all done by the end of December. So we did complete over 300 of those inspections between September 1st and the end of December. So all the are put together and on filing out our office, and they're working on all those adjustments. The other big piece that now we move from what's called HLS, health, life, safety, we move now into compliance. And so there's the state, we actually have designed and maintained the statewide system for compliance for all regional offices to use. And so the state was supposed to have everything to us in my office by the end of September. We got it between Christmas and New Year's. So I was able to get everything up and running for the state before January 1. And they, now all the compliance is going on throughout the state with our districts and things like that. So
Okay.
pretty much some of the big activities going on.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the committee? I see no hands raised. Okay, thank you very much. Veterans Affair, I do not see Jake, so we'll move on. County Clerk, Mr. Emerson, thank you for coming.
Good morning. Our financial report is on file. Everybody should have that in their packets. Couple of things that we want to say. Basically, I need to say a good news, bad news situation. Good news is last year we did 6,545 passport applications through our 2 offices in Aurora and in Geneva. That's a 26.6% increase over last year. So we've been busy with that. There's a lot of people that must need to get out of this country for a while. So we took care of all of that. The bad news portion is we just received word from the U.S. Department of State that we are not allowed to accept passports in Elgin, in our nice new office that we have up there. They said that they would look things over, but they do it based on an analysis of whether there's a need for an office or an acceptance agency there. And they determined that there wasn't. So we're going to see what we can do about that. But in the meantime, the Elgin office is up and running for all of the other functions of the clerk's office. And other than that, births and deaths went up 3% and 2.5% over last year. So not too much increase there, but that's something we don't have any control over. Other than that, I think we're all set. Any questions?
Any questions from the committee? Mr. Gripe?
Yes, thank you. This is kind of a question for anybody that's in that new building, which is awesome. We've toured it. Do you pay any, does your department, or do you know if any of the other departments, and I'd ask the same question, pay rent of any kind to the health department? I guess they're the ones that own the building. I know the county does, but curious for the space you occupy there.
I'm not sure. what the
That
arrangement
question was asked yesterday
Oh,
at Public Health by myself, actually.
Yeah,
And
thank
yes,
you.
we will appropriate costs, the operating costs.
Okay, good, good. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Mr. Chair, Surges.
Yes, Mr. Surges.
I did have I had a constituent call, and part of my question has been answered with the Elgin situation, but I had a constituent call saying that she had an appointment with the post office to get an expedited passport that got canceled. And she was wondering, is it any faster? Are they processed quicker to go down to the clerk's office and do that? And I said, I honestly don't have the answer, but I'd be happy to ask. And I was actually in committee this morning, So
the short answer is no, it's not any faster. We're going to send it into the same spot that the post office is going to send it to, the Department of State. So no, there isn't anything that we can do magically that will make it any faster. We offer the opportunity for the folks to buy an express mail envelope for their applications so that it's guaranteed to get to where it needs to get to in Irving, Texas or wherever within 2 days. So we've had that situation happen in that they don't have to wait for another appointment. They can come directly into our office. We're first come, first serve, and we'll get them taken care of and get that.
And that was kind of my next question is, do they need to call for an appointment, or is there set hours and they can just walk in? I think the person was trying to do it after work, and I was just like, I don't have an answer, but well, I'll figure it out.
Sure. Yeah. So we're open 8:30 to 4:30, and we'll take passports at any time during that time. We prefer that they don't come, we don't start after 4 o'clock, but that's that. But on Wednesdays, we are open until 8 p.m. So that's when we stay open for folks that can't make it in both offices, Aurora and Geneva. And we've got enough staff members at those places to take care of everybody in the evenings. So
thank you so very much. And if there's any way that we can assist in getting that Elgin facility open, please lean on the electorate. We'd be happy to help.
if anybody knows what Marco Rubio, give him a call.
Okay, Mr. Gripe, you have another?
Thank you, Mr. Surges. I can just offer personal experience from this. We had a situation where we had to get passports in like 10 minutes. I'm exaggerating, and the fastest way to do it is to make an appointment at the U.S. government office in Chicago. I think it's on Monroe or something. You go and they'll literally almost generate it on the spot, renewals and that kind of thing. But mine was expiring and anyway, long story. But you pay an extra fee for that. But if you need it super fast, that's the way to do it.
Sure, and we will point that out to folks that are in a situation that are hoping to get out of town within 14 days. So they have to have proof of travel within 14 days or you show an emergency. I have a parent who's passing or something along those lines. And the U.S. Department of State used to be very good at that. And they had that service available. If you showed up at O'Hare Airport wanting to go to Paris and you didn't have a valid passport, you could go to that office, usually get a passport and get on the next flight. So it is possible. They were very good at it, but so yeah, we'll advise the customer on their options.
Super. And John, I don't know that it counts when you like order your private plane to pull up at the gate for you. I mean, come on.
It's only because I loaned it to you.
You're so generous. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the committee? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Emerson. Other business? Nope, none. Okay, executive session we can't do. So we're back in open session before we went in. We can't put reports on file. Can I get a motion for adjournment even though it's not official?
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do it. All right, well, we're going to adjourn anyway. So thank you for everyone that did make it here in person and keep warm tomorrow. Thank you.
Mr. Roth, thanks for filling in. Appreciate that.
No problem, Miss.